Pleasantville, beauty rising.
Hi, my name is Sue Skasky with Vermont Volunteer Services for Animals Humane Society, and welcome to our show, For the Animals. We have the best show today, so I hope you stay tuned. This is Dugan, and Dugan is a whippet that was on the road on a walkabout for 6 days, but he's just been reunited with his family, and we're here to talk about the story. So please join us. I got the email this morning from you that said Dugan had been found. Can you tell me about it? How did it all happen?
Well, it's been a long week looking for him, but this morning we got a phone call with the neighbors on Ryford Brook Road have been wonderful putting up with us in all of our search over the week. And one of the neighbors called us this morning at 6:45 and told us that Dugan was in the road by his house.
How far away was he?
It must be 4 or 5 miles.
Oh,
Yeah,
he made some distance.
he did.
In how many days has he been gone?
He's been gone for 6 days, but he was found over there the morning. He was sighted over there on Saturday morning. You know, as we backtrack, people saw him. We hadn't reported him missing yet, and they did not know, you know, other than that he was there.
So was he going back and forth, or was he hunkered down in that one area, do you think?
There was an area up on top of the hill that was maybe maybe a mile square, and he seemed to be hanging right in that area. And every evening he'd go through this 1 yard. He did it 2 evenings in a row.
Uh-huh.
So
Were they feeding him, or?
no, they weren't. But so the next night we were going to try to be there when he came through.
Sure.
But which would have been tonight. But this morning we got the phone call and we went up and met him coming down the road. So
What
we
happened? Did
intercepted
you,
him.
as soon as you drove down the road, did you see him?
Well, actually, we almost lost him because we met him coming down the road, and I stopped and got out of the truck, and he took a look at me and he turned around and started walking over.
Oh, Dwayne. Did he walk or was he running?
It was just a walk or a fast walk.
Yeah.
But then the car came down the other way, and that caused him to turn around and come back and try again. And then all of a sudden, he recognized me. And then Pat called to him.
And he came running.
Oh, Pat.
He came running, and we opened the door, and he came.
Did he recognize your voice right away?
I
I think
he
that
did.
did it, yeah.
You know what I did? I've heard Emma call to him many times. She'll say, "Here, Doogie, Doogie, Doogie,"
Right.
and so that's what I did in kind of a a low voice, and he came running, and I opened the door for him, and he jumped right in.
Oh, you must
laid down on the back seat. So yeah, it was wonderful.
I think with his poor eyesight and his poor hearing, he didn't recognize us until he got closer to us.
Yeah.
And that's why we lost him last night, because he just didn't know who was there.
I wonder how he survived. I wonder what he ate.
Oh, I wish I knew.
Yeah, we've been asking him that all day, but he doesn't tell us.
You know, with the rain the other night, I know it was a horrible thought to think
Yes.
he was out in it, but I know we can live without food for a few days,
Yeah.
but we can't live without water, so maybe in a way.
There's a lot of water up there. He didn't go without water. There are ponds, swamps, brooks everywhere. But yeah, food would be a problem, I would think. And also, we feel like he found a place to hunker down at night. But he was seen walking in the road in the rain. So he was in the rain for a while.
Oh.
And he doesn't like that kind of thing. He doesn't like being in the rain.
Yeah. You said that he's lost weight. How many pounds do you think he's lost?
Oh, I don't have any idea. I don't know if you.
No, I have no idea.
No, he's just thinner. He always looked thin anyway, but.
Well, Whippets are pretty lean dogs anyway.
Yes, yes. And he's been hungry. We've been feeding him just a little at a time.
Emma, Ben, can you tell me about his personality?
Oh, he's kind of an old dog. He's kind of a baby sometimes. He whines for food, So we're not quite sure how he lasted this 6 days on his own, but
Wow.
he must have done something. He's pretty proud of himself.
He looks very comfortable. So what did he do when he saw you, the both of you?
He was laying on the bed and he came up and he sniffed us and just kind of brushed up against us and we kind of just pet him and hugged him.
Aw,
It was nice
I
to see
think
him.
he's glad to see people that he knows.
I'm
I think it
sure.
was a long week for him. But it's very, very out of character for him to have gone away like this. He's never been an outside dog. He's always wanted to be inside.
Did something spook him?
We really don't know. I think it's likely he chased after something and then
Mhm.
couldn't find his way back. But we're not too sure.
I bet you he can still run.
He
Oh,
can, yeah. He's pretty agile for a 15-year-old dog.
Yeah. 15 times 7. What is that?
Oh, it's over 100.
Wow.
Yeah.
He's had a good life then. Somebody's taken well care of him.
They have taken good care of him.
Hey, Doogie. Dugan. Dugan or Doogie?
Dugan.
Dugan. I can't wait until his parents come home.
Yeah,
He's gonna.
they're going to be
I know.
happy.
Yeah.
Well, Em and Ben couldn't wait to see him, so they came ahead of time.
Tell me, I know that you tried a lot of different avenues to find him. So for people that have lost an animal, what do you think? The newspaper?
Yeah, the advertising, posters, and just getting the word out. That's the biggest thing. And when we found out that he was over on Ryford Brook Road, we bothered the neighbors. We stopped and asked if they'd seen him. You know, gave them pictures, gave them our phone number, and it made them aware that we were looking for him. And they were just all wonderful then to. A lot of times, if they spotted him, they would call us, but by the time we got there, or
Yeah.
even before they could get to a phone and call us, he would have disappeared, but at least we knew he was there. And
We were trying to brainstorm all different ways to veterinarian offices, local animal control, people through your town offices, mailmen, mail delivery people,
Right.
newspaper delivery people. If school were on, I mean, kids in school know everything that goes on. That's
I let
always a
the,
good.
the road crew that works in the town know because they cover all the roads and they're around.
I never thought about that. That's a
But,
good idea.
We spread posters all around down in the village, you know, in the stores and at the animal hospitals and the grocery store and so on. And I believe the people that eventually did contact us with Dugan's location, I think had seen the posters. I'm not sure, but really what did it was the fact that we had just knocked on doors all the way up and down the road and given them our phone numbers. And so when they finally spotted him, they immediately called.
Did the poster have a picture of him on it?
It did.
So it's always good to have a picture of your
Correct.
dog.
Yes.
the first
Yeah.
man that spotted him on Ryford Brook Road, when he called, he said, "I know it's that dog," you know, because he had seen the picture, and so I think the picture was very important.
Yeah. And there's something that I recently learned about called the Front Porch Forum. Do you know of that?
Dale had told us about that. I did not know about it, but I believe that he was put on there too by. I know that Dale used it, and I think Amy, our daughter, the kid's mother, had just put that on. I'm not familiar with that, so.
And somebody had also said on Facebook there's a Vermont Lost Dog site that's supposed to be
Yeah.
excellent.
Yeah, he was on that almost immediately. Dale
Okay.
put him on that, and he's been on Facebook the whole time, and that definitely helped because people.
There's a
people-
local bulletin board that's part of Facebook also, and he went on that.
Mm-hmm.
And that definitely helped because people in the area had said, "Oh, I've seen that on Facebook."
Yeah. The message that I really want to get out to people is that Vermont Volunteer Services for Animals Humane Society owns a large dog trap that you came down to get yesterday.
Yeah.
And every single time that it's been lent out, if a dog is in the area,
Right?
he or she is caught. It's 6 feet long. It's at least 2 feet high, 2 feet wide. And we suggest if the dog's really skittish and hanging out in the area, you tie it open for a few days, and then you put food outside, and then slowly move the food in until the dog's very comfortable going in. And then you put the big quantity on the other side of the trip plate the night you're going to spring it, but also to put cardboard or something down so they don't have to walk on metal, put a blanket inside, but to be careful that it doesn't interfere with the trap door going out or the spring that he's got to walk on to set it off. But if anybody knows of anybody with a dog that needs to be captured, please call us, 672-5302. And we also have a Talon gun. Do you know what they are?
I do
No.
not.
We had one of our supporters buy it for us. It's a $1,000 gun that shoots a net out.
Oh, okay.
And you have to know how to use it because it's a one-shot try.
Right.
But it's a huge net that comes over, and it can capture a person. It can capture a dog. But that's for the dog that just is too frightened to come right up to you. But it works.
Oh, wow. No, I have not heard of that.
Yeah.
But that's an excellent idea. That would be non-injurious.
Right.
Yeah.
But
Great.
you have to have people ready to go retrieve the animal immediately because they get caught up.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
But, yeah. Well, I cannot wait until it's Corey and Mary.
Amy.
Amy. Corey and Amy come back in Dugan's Expression.
Yeah, he's going to be very happy to see them. He's that.
Is there anything else you can think to share right now before they come back?
Well, only when something like this happens, do everything you can think of to get the word out, because that's what does it.
Yeah. Yep.
Knock on doors, put up posters,
Be persistent.
be persistent, correct.
Okay, Ben, tell me, what grade are you in?
I'm going to go into a freshman at Hartford High School.
Okay, so, but you live in Cornish.
Yeah. At Cornish, it's a small town, so they just have a K through 8 elementary school. So, and they don't have any high schools, so they give you an option of high schools.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Emma, what are you going into?
I'm going to be going to Yale next year. It's my first year at college. So.
That's awesome. And what are you studying?
I'm looking to study, the name of the major is Molecular, Cellular, and Developmental Biology, but I'm not sure yet. Just something in biology, though, I think. is
That
what I'm gonna
is phenomenal. Good for the both of
do.
you. Wow. We'll come back in a couple of years and do another show. So how was it?
I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm really excited. It'll be a nice change, I think. I'm ready for some more independence and to move to a new area.
Sure. Now, where in New Haven would you live? Do you know?
I'm right on campus. I'll be
Mhm.
living right on campus. They've got freshman dorms there, right on Old Campus. So
It's where I grew up. Right
Really?
down Southern Connecticut State College, which is now Southern Connecticut University.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So you've both grown up with Dugan.
Yeah, we've had him
Yes.
for a long time.
Yeah, actually, they got him as a puppy about the same time I was born. So,
Oh.
so there's pictures of me as a baby with the puppy Dugan just playing around here.
I'm so glad this has a happy ending.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. Oh, there he is, my Dookie.
Hey, buddy. Oh. Hello, hello. Hello. Come
He's
here.
excited.
Come here. Come. Hello.
Oh, Julian, you had such an adventure.
Oh, you are skinny. You are skinny.
I can't believe it.
I know.
Look at the tail. Oh.
You little stinker. You little stinker. Oh, I love you. Oh, he does look
Oh,
skinny
you
though,
are
doesn't he?
skinny.
Enough of that. Can you come say hi to Grandpa?
I think he's probably hungry again.
You woke him up.
Life is.
Yeah.
Oh, he wants you to follow him.
Come here, honey. Hi, are you lame? Is he lame at all? You look really good. Doesn't he
He
look
does.
good?
Considering what he went through, he looks very good.
I can't believe you.
What are you doing? What are you doing? You doing okay, buddy?
So did he sleep all day?
Yeah, pretty much. He's been really tired.
You good boy. You good boy.
You must have been ecstatic when you got the phone call today.
Oh, we are so happy. We had almost given up hope, right?
Almost. More than once.
Because it was so many ups and downs. Because we kept thinking we had him and then he wouldn't be there, right?
Yeah.
And then yesterday, I don't know if you heard, but we went and saw him and he ran away from us because he was just so
Yeah,
scared.
that had to be heart-wrenching.
Yeah, I just didn't understand it, and I've heard since that happens because they're so scared. But we were just so close. We were so close.
And we were talking earlier, he covered about 6 miles.
Isn't that
You
he's
figure
Yeah.
At least
Yeah.
that amount.
Well, we were doing the math, he's over 100.
Yeah.
Feet are a little cut up and he's sore. Yeah.
He doesn't like his feet being played with either.
I cannot believe we have him back.
Really good, Dugan.
He really does. He looks skinny. Doesn't he look skinny?
Yeah.
But he looks
You alright, puppy?
I think he said, now the world is right.
Oh, this is everything to be
A
perfect.
little bit of a
You guys
walkabout.
would just feed
A little
me.
walkabout.
You were quite an adventure.
Gonna have to give you a bath, which you don't like very much. at some point. Yes. Oh, where's a bobo boy?
I bet she doesn't leave your side tonight.
No. No, he sleeps with us anyway, so it'll be a good night's sleep. Yes, it will.
Yes.
It'll be a good night's sleep.
Yes.
Keep the rain.
So has he been eating a little bit?
Yeah.
Yes, he actually he's eaten a whole can
We've
of
been
food a
careful
little bit at a
about-
time.
Yeah, we've given him a little bit at a time because we don't want to.
Because he eats it up really quickly, and if we gave him a whole can all at once, he would probably puke it back up. But we've been giving him a couple spoonfuls at a time.
Just look how small his torso is now.
He is skinny.
Yeah, we gotta clean you up a little bit, but I don't see any ticks or anything.
No. And he's not lame at all. He doesn't have. I don't see any.
Occasionally, I've seen a little limp on one of his front feet, but
Oh, right
not
here.
much.
It is. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's bloody.
His feet are
Careful.
sore, I think.
Careful.
Yeah.
Don't hold it.
Bottom's bony.
Oh, Dugan, you're too old. I cannot believe you did that. I'm much too old.
Good boy you are.
Wow. Yeah, it's been pretty traumatic, hasn't it?
Yeah.
It's been pretty traumatic. I bet you were out there with all sorts of.
Belly's a little bit skinned up.
Amy, can you tell me about Dugan?
About Dugan, we got Dugan when he was a puppy, when Ben was 6 months old, I think.
I think Dugan's actually older.
Oh, Dugan's older, okay.
We were talking
Yes.
about that, so
Yes.
they've grown up
They
together.
have
Dugan's
grown-
birthday was actually last week on Thursday, I think.
It's 15th.
I got him from my mother, who has had several litters of Whippets. He was one of 2, so we got him 15 years ago. We've had him ever since. He's grown up with our kids. So he's been a part of our family for a good long time.
Does he have a cat in the family?
We have 2 cats in the family now. We've had a couple of cats also in the past, but we have 2 right now. And he gets along pretty well with them.
Mm-hmm.
So I think sometimes they're actually a little more
In
in
control.
control than he is. So they're probably meaner to him than he is to them. So
Has he ever given them a run for their money?
a little bit.
Yeah.
Yep, he will a little bit. Especially if there's one that likes to bat him as he goes by, and he will let him know that's not such a good idea and go after them. So
I have a cat that keeps my dog constantly on the alert. She doesn't know whether she's going to get smacked or...
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So he must be something to watch run.
Oh,
Yeah.
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 He's very fast. He's not quite as fast as he used to be, but he used to like to go out and do a lot of laps around the house.
Mhm.
And we had other people that would bring their dogs over, and they used to play a little bit of a running, chasing game. And I don't think anybody really was able to catch him. So,
Yeah.
we used to do things like throw the frisbee for him and stuff like that, but we don't do that too much anymore because
Yeah.
he's gotten older. So, but he still can move pretty fast when he
Yeah.
wants to.
I think it's amazing the way so many people came together in the effort to find him. Do you remember how we connected?
Yeah,
Because
I
don't.
think that was just amazing in terms of the number of people that came out to help us find Dugan. I think, some of it became through my mother, Dale Healy, who had some connections. She's the one that helped us connect us with the dog tracker. We actually talked to a dog communicator. We went through the missing pets of the Upper Valley and Granite State dog recovery. I think I was connected with you through my mom somehow, and I don't remember how it even came about.
Mhm.
The emails just started coming and the Facebook, and it just really worked out great.
That's great.
And so I think getting the posters out, people starting to call, that's really where things kind of turn around. My in-laws kind of doing all the work, going out and doing all they could. They spent a lot of time
Yeah.
out on the roads looking for him. I think all of that.
Anybody that's lost an animal knows the heartache and just the devastation. Not knowing, I think, is the worst thing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah, and when it was cold and rainy and not knowing where he was sleeping.
I know.
I just,
If only we could understand what they're trying to tell us.
I know.
What did the dog communicator have to say?
It was very interesting because I was a little skeptical, to be honest, but I really seemed to think that she had a connection with him.
Mm-hmm.
Because we thought that maybe he had survived. So just getting that initial sort of sense that maybe he was still alive. Because
Mhm.
we really, we were prepared for the worst. I
Did-
mean, I really was.
Did she come here?
No, I talked to her on the phone, actually.
Okay.
And she seemed to think that he was alive and he was outside and that he had gone off chasing some animal and that he was having fun doing it, and that he'd been around and he was laying down at the time and he could smell food and he could hear people, and so all of those were encouraging, but wasn't I wanted to know where he was.
Right.
Unfortunately, that wasn't quite what happened. But I think it was encouraging. And then the next day was when we had the dog tracker come out, and they went out and were able to track him a good ways, 3 miles up the road the other way, up towards Fish Hill, was another sign that he at least was moving and kind of up and about.
Was that the other direction that he was found from? Okay.
Yeah, so he went about if all the information we had is correct, he went 3 miles up the road towards the interstate, up towards Fish Hill.
Mhm.
And then where all the sightings started to happen was much more south of here, a good, 4 or 5 miles south of here onto Ryford Brook Road.
Wow.
Yeah.
So he traveled a little ways.
What an
Well,
adventure.
Yeah, for sure. Last night you came to Bridgewater to get the dog trap,
Yeah.
and we were talking earlier that if the dog is in the area and goes into it, there's a 100% guarantee. It's
Yeah.
been very successful, but you have to
Yeah.
know where the dog is. I'd like to show people, close by showing people what the dog trap
Sure.
is that is always available for people to borrow. If we could go out there,
Sure.
that'd be great.
Sure.
Okay, this is the dog trap that we're talking about. It's at least 6 feet long, so it does take a truck or a caravan to move it. It's a good 2 feet high and 18 inches wide, and it works, but very simply. It's a 3-part step. push down, pull up, and then there's a little hook that you maneuver right around that attaches to the bar. And then when the animal goes in, we put newspaper or cardboard, something down so the animal's not stepping on wire. Put a glob of food there, a glob of food there. And then this trip plate all the way in the back is what the animal has to step on. So you cover it with a blanket or something, but something too that's not going to get caught underneath and allow the dog to back out. And then caught. Luckily, Dugan didn't have to go through the trap process because it's a little disconcerting, but we're glad to be able to bring you a happy story. So please join us again on For the Animals again next week. Okay, that's a wrap.
At dusk, there came a turning. There was a moment when all was known. You could feel beauty rising. At dusk, there came a turning. There